All right, guys. This is another episode of Panther as a Folding Table Talk. Hopefully, you guys saw the intro there. Unfortunately, for our audience that are listening in our stage right now, they probably couldn't hear it, but that's okay. If you're watching the video or listening to the podcast, you will hear the new intro that we have there. This is gonna be a special episode because this is gonna be run by none other than Mac. So this is episode 58. Rules. Why do we have them? Mac, can you explain to us? This is your show. Go ahead, take it away.
Hold on,
Okay.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Did you say 58?
Yeah.
Are we at 58?
Are we? Hold on, let me double check. Did I? Oh no. We are episode 59. My bad, guys. Ooh, he got me there. All right.
There we go.
All right. Someone was napping at the wheels. That's probably me. Oh no, here comes the comments. No, it is not 69. Not yet.
Oh my God.
We're 10
Yeah,
episodes
of
away.
course, of
Boy,
course.
boy, chat can't wait for that. Can
No, they're all like, "Yo, did you say 59? Did you mean?"
Anyways, let's move on here, guys. Episode
Okay.
59 of the Panther Airsoft Folding Table Talk. Mac, take us away. Rules. Why do we need them?
Hey guys, so basically, yeah, just chatting with Poi and Tack there just before we started the recording and everything. Kind of going through why this came up. So we were gonna talk about a different topic and everything like that, but we've kind of pushed that aside just because working with ourselves and the other staff members and stuff. These past few weekends, going into the end of the summer here, we've kind of been running into a couple of problems, and it comes to following rules. Now, basically, that can range from a lot of things when it comes to people playing the game, certain gun, FPS limits and everything like that, gun safety, and then as well as just general safety rules as well, right? So basically, these kind of problems have come up over the last few weekends to the point where we couldn't kind of ignore it anymore, and we just wanted to kind of touch back on basically what are the rules, why do we have them, and clarify some of the most common malfeasance when it comes to these people not following these rules and
When you
everything.
say people, are these new people? Because I would expect new people to not know the
honestly
rules. Or are
honestly
these
I
regulars?
okay, so I can't point the finger at people when it comes to that because there's no way to base the average on it, because I could
So
deal
what you're
with
saying is it's a mix of both.
it's a mix.
Okay.
With less words, it's a mix of both. Basically, guys, I'm gonna have regulars that are gonna get complacent and not follow certain rules, or start to kind of like be pretty lax to certain sets of safety regulations or rules and such like that. And to a degree, there's a bit of leniency and everything like that. But at the end of the day, guys, the rules are there for a reason, for our safety, and to ensure fair play throughout and across the board for each and every player when it comes to the game, to the sport, to the community, right? So I've got a little write up here and everything like that for basically what's going on. So rules. Why do we have them? Rules, like in any game, help facilitate fair and safe play for all players. For Airsoft, rules are pretty common across all fields, with some variations, and they help players get to the fun and exhilarating experience that everyone comes out for. The different sets of rules airsofters abide by can vary on a spectrum when it comes to styles of play or the game situations and such. But in general, all players should be and will be familiar with the sets of rules. So the most common ones that you're going to see obviously out there are, and the most important, start off field safety rules, right? Everyone knows that there are field safety rules out there. If you don't know the field safety rules, that first off is a problem. And if you need to, like, we will have a link in the description and everything like that, guys, make sure you are aware of the field rules before you play. If you're one of those people that show up and don't know the field rules, that's fine. We will explain them to you. We do that regularly. Other than that, guys, the next set of rules that you're going to kind of come across and everything are player conduct rules. So this is how a player kind of presents themselves and acts accordingly during a game, in the game, at the field and such. And those things can vary from basically, making sure that you are following the safety rules, making sure that you are not, cheating, or you're not, or you sorry, I don't want to say you're not cheating, but you're playing honestly, right? And in that context as well is that you're not overshooting someone, because at the end of the day, it only takes one BB to get them. But I also understand that there are people out there with lots of gear and everything like that. Sometimes you need to shoot them a little extra couple of times. That's okay. But moving on with that, right? And that our third set of rules that everyone should and will know, obviously, are FPS and gun limits when it comes to safety and everything and such when it comes to the field. So these sets of rules together help ensure that all players can have a safe and enjoyable time. When player or players, mostly it's players, do not follow the rules, it can and will lead to accidents, safety hazards, and just a general bad feeling in the community and the players. It is up to each player's responsibility to learn and follow all the field rules to help ensure that each and every player has a great time out at Airsoft. We all came to Pew Pew, and that's what we're here to do, right, guys? So that being said, with my write-up, guys, I have gone through and kind of listed what I have kind of gone through as just a staff member at Panther. What is my kind of most common headaches when it comes to rules and such with the field. So basically, my first common problem, guys, eye protection. It's our number one rule, but it is our number one problem. Eye protection must stay on your face at all times when you're in an active game area. You cannot regrow your eyes, guys, so do not take a chance. Do not take your finger in there and try and get the fog off and everything like that. Guys, if you have an issue, stop, take a minute, go to the safety area, deal with the problem, and then come back. And if it's obviously a fog issue and stuff, guys, that's a constant problem that you're going to be fighting for your entire airsoft career. Do not think it ends just because you're going to get your finger in there and be able to see for a second. Buy better eye protection.
So
That's
Aiden saying here, buy fans from Mac and Tax Store. So
definitely, but yeah, exactly. Buy a fan that can help defog your goggles on the field and everything. Buy anti-fog that you can prep and use on your glasses or your goggles while you're out there. We live in a very humid climate, so you guys got to know. And a lot of you guys are sweaty guys out there. I'm one of them, right? So like it's not gonna go away. Deal with it appropriately. And this is why we always try and tell new players, new individuals, or even experienced players who are just complaining all the time is fog. Well, buy better eye protection.
Can
guys.
you go
invest.
over? Can you go over the specs on eye protection just
okay.
for people who don't know?
Well, yeah, guys. So basically, for eye protection, anyone who's under 18 should definitely be wearing full seal goggles. That comes down to appearance. We do enforce things, but all eye protection must be rated with an ANSI or CSA approved Z87 plus rating. So that's a ballistic rating. And then for that being said, also, guys, if you're using those cheap UVEX shop glasses or anything like that, totally understand. I work construction too. Those are rated for one impact. So I want you guys to know that a lot of people shoot more than one BB. So if you are wearing those glasses out into the field and you were to get shot by a burst, full auto, more than one shot because there's speed triggers out there, there's a good chance that those are going to fail. And again, guys, it's up to you. When you sign that waiver, you do kind of sign your life away. You can't sue us for you wearing shitty eye pro. So guys, eye protection is the number one rule, and it's something that people overlook all the time. And that's one thing that I am constantly on the guard for, is basically just making sure that everyone is wearing their eye protection when they're out in the field. And that includes the shooting range. I know a lot of people have gone down there and argued with me. That's not happening. Okay.
There's a big sign.
ASG is doing a really, really great job at just making that place spick and span and beautiful. And I really appreciate all of the guys with Julian and the ASG group doing that. Like, guys, the rules are posted there. There's absolutely no way to ignore it now. I know that there aren't supposed to be people shooting at you, but we haven't stopped all the BBs coming in from the city field, guys. So again, eye protection is mandatory down in the shooting range, right? So guys, just that's the number one thing that I see with eye protection. And then going in for that will go into the next thing, which is gun safety. right? Just general gun safety. Like I know these are airsoft guns and they're toys and everything like that, but seriously, it looks like if it quacks like a duck and moves like a duck, is it a duck, right? Like it's a gun.
Mine doesn't go quack. It goes zer whap.
Zrap, zrap. Okay, wow, thank you for that. That was a good sound effect, actually. Thank you. I did not know how to like sound that out. But yeah, so basically gun safety, guys, treating these things with a bit of respect and everything like that, not pointing them around. So making sure your gun is safe in the safe zone is the second most important rule at Panther. The only time you should be pointing your airsoft gun the only time you should be pointing your airsoft gun and have the barrel bag off with a magazine in. Okay, so just going through that, guys, because guys, if you're taking off your barrel bag to work on it and tech on it, like what? Okay, don't be dumb here. I'm talking about if you have a loaded airsoft gun. So guys, the only time you should have that is in the game area. Always treat your airsoft gun as if it were loaded and do not point it at anyone unless you are playing the game. Proper gun safety can ensure that everyone has a safe and fun time, and just make sure that everyone can come back to play again. So that's just one thing, because I know a lot of people are always barrel sweeping each other and pulling out their pistols and still having magazines in there
like that
and
recent
stuff.
video that's been going around.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Wait,
your
what
typical
video?
your typical airsofter.
Oh, that one, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, moving on from that, this is kind of going into more of a game orientated thing, but MEDs. So minimum engagement distances. A lot of people kind of don't pay attention to those, and that's a problem, and that can also affect the gameplay, and it can also affect player safety. So that's a really important issue that we are going to start kind of trying to police a lot better, because though we have a really big player base, the staff is doing its job to try and make sure that everyone has a safe and fun time. But it's also, again, guys, going to put the onus back onto the player itself. You guys, it is your job to understand what the field rules are and to play within it. Because if I catch you outside of the field rules, it's simple and done. You're gone. That's it. You can't really argue that, if especially for some of the regulars out there and stuff like that we have kind of caught doing things wrong, and they try and play dumb, and you guys know who you are out there. You've been called out before, and don't worry, I'm not scared to call you out again. Do not play the game with us, guys. Okay, follow the MED and FPS rules when it comes to that. But basically, guys, sometimes airsoft guns can be shooting velocity, and because of that, it falls into a certain bracket, in which that will come with some accompanying rules. A common mistake for players when it comes to MEDs is they simply just don't know distances, and that's totally okay. You can ask the staff, or you can ask a more experienced player, like, hey, like, how far am I supposed to be engaging from and stuff? And we're always going to try and give you the best. We might pull out a tape measure. We have before. We will, if it comes to it. But we can give you a general, understanding of distances when it comes to MED.
I actually want to add something to MED for that.
Yep.
At the very beginning of an airsoft day, the referees will gather everybody in the morning to explain the rules, to explain gun safety, to explain MED.
The safety speech. Yeah,
the
exactly.
safety speech at the very beginning. And the referees do a good job of measuring. Say, like, Adam in the morning will be like, yeah, you guy over there, that is 40 feet. Right? And you can.
Oh, and he's pretty on it.
Yeah, and he is good with distances. Ty is the same thing too. Like, he'll point out, that is from here to that barrel over there, that is 40 feet. You cannot do full auto, yada, 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 yada. I mean,
20 feet.
this is why you attend the safety speech at the very beginning. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah,
go on.
boy.
Yeah.
I was gonna be 20 feet. Boy, come on. Okay. But yeah, so basically, guys, engagement distances, they're there for a reason. It comes down to safety for the players and everyone like that, because guns are shooting at different ranges and velocities. And that's the best way for us to kind of mitigate any hazards or any accidents or bad feelings and injuries and everything like that. So that's why they exist. For those who don't know their MEDs, you're more than welcome to come up and we can chrono you and give you your MED and make sure you understand what the rules are at the field. Again, I'm not going to dive into every single rule that we have listed on the website because every player should have done that, should do it again if you're unfamiliar with it. But the main thing that I wanted to kind of address with the podcast today, guys, is just like the things that I see wrong and the things that I have dealt with over the last few weeks. So MEDs has definitely been something. I've had a lot of people kind of complaining and I don't want to say complaining actually, you know, because they've been bringing up their concerns.
It's complaining.
Okay, they're complaining. Okay, sometimes there are people getting shot and they feel like they're shooting hot. I'm going to tell you right now, every time I have chronoed somebody this summer, and it's been many times where people have asked me to chrono someone, you've been wrong. So I just want to let everyone know that right off of the bat. The guys that tell me that, oh, they know it's shooting hot, or oh, they know what a gun is shooting by the sound of it, shut up. You don't.
No, we catch those guys.
Oh my God. There's I'll tell you guys this one on the podcast, actually. Yeah. Okay. So he who must not, or I won't even mention his name, but an old guy, yeah, wanted to tell me that this guy was shooting hot. And he knows it because he's been playing for and such amount of time. He knows. I go and chrono the guy and he's well under. I literally went up to the other guy who told me to chrono that guy and told him to grow thicker skin. That is what will happen to you if you are wrong. If you are right, great. Then we've dealt with a safety issue, and thank you. You know, so that is basically with MEDs and FPS, right, guys? So FPS can range all over the place depending on your classification, depending on the gun, depending on the system that you're running for your gun as well, whether it be an AEG, GBB, AEP, or Springer, Sniper, and then we get the infamous HPA. So I actually have HPA as its own subject here because I've got a little write-up for HPA, and this for the HPA players out there that are kind of wondering why I have a vendetta against you. Don't, because I am an HPA player myself. But a lot of people ask us why we pick on HPA players so much when it comes to FPS limits. It has to mainly do with the ease of abuse. So you guys might have heard us say that before in a previous podcast when it comes to talking about the rules and limitations of different systems and everything like that. But that is the main factor of us picking on you. If I see you with a tank, if I see you with the HPA line, I'm coming to make sure that you are correct, because the ease of abuse when it comes to that system, when it comes to just cranking on a valve or turning up PSI or anything like that, and increasing, right? It's very easy to hurt somebody, and that is what we are not here to do. We're here to shoot at each other with plastic pellets safely. You know, and that being said, though, HPA, it is a expensive system. So if you have an HPA system and you don't know what you're shooting, that's not okay. And I actually kind of am going to shit on you, because if you can afford a couple $100 system, you know, and God, some of the top tier ones now are in the, yeah, if you can afford that system, you can afford a Chrono. And if you can afford a Chrono, then you can learn how to measure your gun yourself. If I come up to you at the field and I ask you what you are shooting, I don't care what weight you're shooting. I don't care what gun you have. I'm asking you what your joules are measured at for the weight that you are playing with.
Give me the numbers.
Yeah, give me the numbers.
Show me the receipts.
Basically, that's why I pick on HPA players. And you know what? I know that there are some fields out there that play with different HPA rules to us, and that's fine. They want to play on a higher joule rate, they can play on a higher joule rate. But if you're a Panther, your FPS limit and joule limit basically for HPA systems across the board is 343 FPS and 1.7 joules. So whichever one of those come first, you stop. If you hit 1.7 joules and you're not at 343 FPS, you don't go up from there. If you hit 343 FPS and you're at 1.5 joules, you don't go up from there. That's what it is, guys. that's the HPA rules. And, you know, a lot of people ask us why I'm picking on you and stuff like that. The amount of times I have chronoed HPA players because they have given me a bad answer about not knowing what they're shooting. And I've had to either A, kick them off the field for a game, kick them off the field for the day, or the couple of people who have been absolute, you know, stains to the community. I know all three of us know, or most likely know, who I'm talking about and stuff, but they're not allowed to be back anymore. And you know what? Unfortunate as it is to lose a member of the community, if you want to feel like you're above others when it comes to safety and the rules, then we don't need you in our community. So
That's not an unfortunate event. That's a very fortunate
yeah,
event.
exactly. We weeded out the unneeded and unnecessary you know, stain, basically, is what it is. And that's how I feel on that. So you know, again, guys, don't think that I'm coming out to get HPA players, because, you know, I am an HPA player.
Admit it. You hate yourself.
I do.
Okay, that's it. That's it.
I
That's all
mean-
you're doing. You're
I mean-
pushing your
I
hate
mean,
of
H-
yourself onto others.
Exactly.
HPA. I mean, HPA isn't as bad as it was, I would say, 5 or 6 years ago when I was
100%,
when
yeah.
I was still playing back then.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's changed a lot over the years because of the rules implemented over the years, and as well as regulations that we put in. I mean, a lot of people hated it because of the fact that, you know, expensive system. They want to push it to the very edge, right? But yeah, we
You
had.
can't beat the consistency.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. You can't beat it, but like what you can't
I mean,
beat
as a
is the
gas
price.
user, it's hard for me because it's consistent. I would love to have a consistency for gas like that, but
Oh,
this-
hey,
I have a drum mag for
Oh,
that.
can I just address something
Yeah,
that
go
I
ahead.
saw in chat there? So this is a common misconception I have as well. When it comes to HPA and DMRs. At Panther, there is no such thing. So if you are running an HPA system and you decide to throw that into a SR25, it does not have full auto, and you are a DMR class or whatever, you are still limited at 1.7 joules or 343 FPS, whichever one comes first.
Until rules change. Or the
Until rules
community.
change. Yeah, I mean,
Whichever one
guys,
comes first.
guys, we are in the process of talking right now because things have changed, systems have changed. You know, Airsoft has improved. The technology is different and everything like that. So from when we originally sat down and had those rules written out, things have changed, and the community has changed as well. So that being said, things are subject to change. But as of right now, that is the standard right now that you should be measuring yourself off of, whether you have a HPA sniper rifle, whether you have an HPA LMG.
Hold
That
on.
is, yeah.
Sorry, I would just like to address another misconception about tournament locks. Actually, every HPA regulator can be tournament locked.
Mhm.
It's built in. It's designed that way. You just have to know how to do it.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly, for safety, right? But okay, so that's all I have to say for HPA. I know a lot of people get mad and stuff like that and thinking I'm picking on them, but basically, guys, it's just to make sure that everyone's safe. Okay, another one. This is really commonly brought up to the field every time. I don't know how many times we've gone over it and stuff like that, but grenades. And when it comes to grenades, no smoke grenades at all,
Oh,
like ever. Like
oh, what? Oh,
ever. No smoke grenades.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
guys.
good to know.
Yeah, there we go. Clearing up that misconception. The only grenades that should be and are allowed at Panther, guys, are BB grenades. So no pyrotechnics of any kind. If you do see smoke grenades, guys, there are photo shoots that happen and stuff like that in a controlled setting. So I want you to understand that. In the past, there have been smoke grenades, but things have happened for us to tell you no smoke grenades. If you want to know what the story is, you can maybe come talk to me in person, but we're not talking about that on the show.
Field rules, no smoke grenades.
Exactly. Right. And then basically, guys, kind of the most common thing that I've had to deal with over the summer, that I've been brought out into the field to deal with, brought out to deal with players that are yelling at each other, cheating. You know, it's happens in any game, but in Airsoft, it is very easy. Yeah, guys, Airsoft is a game of honor, and it's a shame when some players do not hold themselves to the same standard as others. That being said, a lot of common problems that come with cheating are kind of come down to the following. The very first one that I can say when people have told me that someone is cheating is you're not actually hitting them. That's
You
that's
sure? Because my rifle
I have
shoots
I
300 feet, dude.
I have measured out the range. Tack and I have measured out the range, and I have called people out that have told me that their gun shoots 250 feet and they are failing to even make it past 180. So guys, again, you're probably not hitting them.
Yeah.
After that, sometimes when you are hitting them, they have too much gear on and they can't feel it. Now, I understand there's people out there that like to get all gacked up and geared and, are running a certain impression and everything like that. And that's okay. So the person that's shooting, just keep shooting. To the person that's wearing all that gear, if I hear you complain about being overshot,
Or
I'm
less.
I'm gonna raise my eyebrow at you. That's about it.
I'm wearing a
Um,
plate carrier.
and then guys, like the third thing that comes with cheating and stuff like that is that they are a cheater, and it's unfortunate. It happens in any game. There's always those bad apples that manage to sneak in and they want to try and ruin everything because they think that they're better, or they want to do, it's them over everyone else, right? And that's unfortunate, but it happens. But guys, don't get bogged down on that. Okay. Don't waste your ammo. Move on. Keep playing the game. Play with the other players and stuff. Because eventually, the staff's going to catch them, or, another airsofter is going to do more than waste a mag, which I would advise no one to do because I care about my BBs. I don't want to waste them. But yeah, so that's basically when it comes down to cheating. Those are the main factors right there. But like in any sport and game, guys, there's cheaters out there, and the best thing you can do is to not let it affect your day or your game. Do not stoop to their level. Do not start cheating yourself because they're not calling their hits. You're not calling your hits. It's a very common thing that's happening. Don't do that, guys. Okay, be the bigger person. Okay, if you find that you're shooting at a player and they're not calling your hits, shoot again. If they're still not calling their hits, or make sure that you're in range. That's the
Move
first
closer.
advice. Yeah, first advice I'm going to give you. And if you guys are shooting them, they're not calling their hits, even though that you're full on hitting them, you can see them reacting and stuff, guys. Just let the staff know. Please do not take it into your own hands, guys. If you start a fight, I do have to kick both of you out, and it has happened this summer, and I would not like to do that again. Overshooting. So this is tying into cheating. But basically, overshooting can and does happen often. And it can kind of be for a number of reasons, right?
But Mac, you were just encouraging overshooting just a moment ago.
I did.
Please explain.
I did to a degree, right? So this is where I'm going to tie into what I was just saying, right? Overshooting can happen. It happens a lot, surprisingly, not surprising. But kind of comes down to the main factors of this, right? Players are not calling their hits, so they keep shooting. So then they all of a sudden you have 30 BBs in the air, and he's probably going to call one of those, but all it required was 29. I don't know. That third one, or that last one, just put him over the edge, right? It's unfortunate, but it is a game of shooting. So guys, if you come out with the mentality that you are God mode, God tier, some super Navy SEAL sexy operator, and you can't get shot, you're an idiot. Okay, guys, like flat out. Okay, this game is about being shot. So come out with that mentality. Do not come out with the attitude that like you're, just gonna come and stack bodies, because you're more than welcome to stack bodies and sling plastic, but you're not that good. So stop. So guys, another one for overshooting, or sometimes that people feel like they're being overshot, is standing in the line of fire. So if you get shot, one of the best advices I can tell people to mitigate overshooting is making sure you actually, you actually call your hit. Because I know a lot of people that actually just take a hit and they end up just walking around, or they turn around and they have their gun up or anything like that, and they don't actually say hit. If I'm shooting at you from 30 feet away, I don't know that you got hit. And I'm either going to keep shooting, or if you walk around the corner, you're going to get shot because who knows, right? So obviously, guys, kill rags can be super effective to help mitigate that. They are not mandatory at Panther for drop-in skirmish play, but honestly, they're pretty highly recommended if you want to stop getting overshot,
They unlock the
as
armor.
well as moving out of the line of fire. And then basically players being mean and trigger happy, it happens. A lot of people work on like binary triggers or speed triggers or
What? So hold on. No. They can work on binary triggers. That's not allowed.
is it? I mean, it's
That,
happened.
that's I know, but that's
It's
not
happened.
allowed.
No,
Hey,
I
So
hey,
if I
know.
hey,
catch
hey,
you,
hey, hey, no full
not
auto.
allowed.
No
No
full
full
auto
auto.
in buildings. Yeah, I know. So
That's not
wait,
full
so
auto. This is full
what?
auto.
Yo, didn't we dissect that kid's gun? And he probably knows who we're talking about. But that kid, we just dissected his gun. It was just a speed trigger mod, or she short stroked his trigger, right? That's why.
No, it's a
Oh, it's
awesome
that.
MOSFET that I'm going to be buying myself.
Okay, that's why. All right, binary not allowed. But yeah, that
I
super
wa-
awesome MOSFET.
I want that
You
abuse.
know who you are, you little speed softer with your little pop, 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 pop guy. Okay.
Yeah, but he's
But
got fast fingers though.
oh yeah, super fast fingers, shooting with your middle finger. You look so dumb. You look so dumb. So dumb.
Mac, you can't dictate how a person plays, please.
Shoot a real gun like that. I dare you.
But
Okay.
this is airsoft, okay?
Yeah, I know. This is Airsoft, exactly. Okay, so basically, and kind of so going back into one of the main things I was tying in with cheating and then overshooting and stuff like that, and being shot. The people I get complaints from the most about being overshot are usually the guys with the most gear on. So if you are complaining to me about being overshot, I will start carrying a mirror in my pocket and I will pull it out and show you what you look like. That being said, the player that's shooting at
Look
you,
great.
hey, great job. Keep shooting till he calls us hits. Guy getting shot, put your hand up right away and yell hit very clearly and loud. That way you know that you've been hit. Everyone else knows that you've been hit. And that way you know that you're not getting shot at. I mean, there's not really any way to kind of go around that other than basically like because there's tons of players that just refuse to wear kill rags. That's okay. If you get shot, I don't know why you're asking. There's people that complain about getting shot in the face. You're not wearing face protection. Don't know why you're complaining. Yeah, I will never feel bad for anyone who gets shot in the face and not wearing face protection. Flat out. I want you guys to know that. If you come up to me, yeah, you too, boy. The times you've come up and been like, oh, well, no, that's what I'm saying. But the times you come up, you just take it into like an absolute Chad and you just keep freaking moving. But like these other kids, they're like, yo, I'm playing with these tiny little Shot Pro glasses and like, oh, I got shot in the cheek and it's bleeding. And it's like, oh, he shot me from 2 feet away. It's like, what do you want me to do, dude? You're at a corner intersection and you're in city without a mask. Like, I can't write dumbass over your head any more clearly than you can, but like there are so many of them. Oh my God. And I'm just not even, sorry to be so dark there, but I just don't care like whatsoever. There are so many people that play City without a face mask. And I want you guys to know that almost all of you at Panther play min max when it comes to FPS limits. Okay. So if you think that you're coming up against a nice gun, you are so mistaken. And it's like, oh God, that's the end of my rant right there with that. But basically, that's the most common problems that I've run into basically throughout this summer, guys, is a mixture of all those things. And we're gonna deal with it as they come up. It's a universal problem, but also a problem that is recurring and everyone has to deal with. The best way to kind of work around that is the advice that kind of we have given out. But if you have any tidbits on doing that is safe and professional, please put those in the comments below. Cheating being one of those things right there, right? I know a lot of times I've talked to other players and stuff like that, and if you're having a lot of problems with people that are cheating, sit the game out. Sometimes, just sitting the game out or maybe asking the ref to reshuffle the teams and everything like that, that can really help change the dynamic and everything like that and help everyone have a better time. And that's what at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is basically we're all here to have a good time and sling plastic. However you want to go about that safely is and within our field rules. That's why they exist. Um,
And we've
yeah,
had like podcast topics about anger management and such.
yeah.
I think we did it twice, last summer and this summer. So yeah, I mean, we've had issues with people. Um, it's hot. Everyone gets hot and bothered, and then everyone
Mhm.
starts overshooting, and then everyone just stops following the rule.
A
Yeah,
lot of
it's
small problems build up to one big problem.
Yeah. So, but now we're covering rules.
Mm.
They're there for a reason because we want everybody to be safe, right? So, yeah. I mean, follow them. Um, did you have one more thing to go over here for after all of this?
Well, basically, those are the kinds of issues that kind of made me want to bring this back up,
Okay.
boy. So I appreciate you taking the time with me to kind of rant off about what I've had to deal with over the last month and a half and such. It's been nice. We have had an influx of new players, and when I say new, it's not just new to Airsoft. Sometimes, or we have had a huge presence from some of the interior guys visiting over the last few nice days in the weekend and everything like that. Big shout out to those guys. Some of them from I think it was Central Interior Airsoft or something like that. One of the guys in the group was talking to me about that. Sorry, I don't forget your name, man.
Nice. We get some travelers in here.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, they've been coming out, and there's been guys from Chilliwack coming out, and there's been
Kamloops.
guys
Okay.
from Kamloops and Kelowna and stuff like that. Like, it's great to see that out here. They were some of the people that I had to deal with some of the field issues, but again, them being new to the field, I wouldn't expect them to be on that 100% right away, but a good few of them did know the rules before coming hand, which was much appreciated and stuff like that. Made ensuring that they were within all of the rules so much easier, because again, guys, a lot of these rules are common sense, but I can't really use the word common sense anymore because it's not so common, so we use the words acquired knowledge.
Okay.
Book of Blood.
There's yeah, I mean, so I could compare this to work because Tack and I, we work construction, and there's a lot of rules when it comes to construction on how you build things, how you do things, and how you do things safely, because safety being a key factor in construction, because a lot of people have gotten injured and a lot of people have lost their lives.
How are new rules made, Mac?
So WCB, or Work BC, basically they're the governing body that does all the regulations and rules when it comes to how you work and everything like that, and that comes in every job aspect throughout BC. They are the kind of governing entity on that. Their rule book is nicknamed the Book of Blood for a reason.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Boy, you probably don't know this
No,
because you're
I.
in the office, but I'm telling you right
Yep.
now, every single rule in there is in there for a reason, and it's a red one. Okay. If they're telling you you can't be doing this, it's because somebody either got seriously hurt or somebody died. So, guys, it's not that serious when it comes to airsoft because, again, we're not shooting bullets. But when it comes to the number one rule of eye protection, you don't regrow those. So, please, guys, do not take a chance with your eye protection. And other than that, all the other general safety rules and player conduct rules just help ensure everybody has a safe and fun time. So that's the main premise of Airsoft, and that's the main point of Panther as the place to play. And as a member of the community and stuff like that, that's a little bit on you and a little bit on us. That's what it's all about.
Okay. Speaking of rules, how are everybody with the COVID rules right now?
Oh, okay, yeah. So are you talking about just at the field and everything like
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's been doing a pretty damn good job. I know a lot of people have starting to get laxer on the mask situation and stuff like that. We have been a little bit in everything, but guys, again, with the current BC regulations and stuff like that, mandatory masks indoors has become a thing again. So guys, make sure you're wearing masks inside any of the indoor spaces at Panther. So that'll be, the barn, the washroom, the ASG store, Mac and Tack store, or if you're just interacting with people at a super close proximity that are outside of your normal bubble or your household and stuff like that, guys, Panther is a great place to hang out with your friends and stuff like that, but we want to make sure that we're hanging out safely. We all come from different parts of life and jobs and all over the place, so guys, the last thing we want to do is have any chance of having a problem at Panther like that. So if you guys are sick, if you're feeling sick, if you thinking you don't want to get sick, stay home. That's totally okay. We're going to be here next weekend. We're going to be here the weekend after that. You're not missing anything. Yeah, guys, ride this one out if you want to. And, come out and play if you want to. But again, guys, please follow the guidelines and the rules when it comes to COVID.
Okay. We have one comment here from Aiden saying update the website. So that is a big one I have to talk to Elliot about. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. I know the website is kind of like an archaic thing to look at because not a lot of people look at websites nowadays, but there are rules there, and I will link them down at the description below as well. But I do realize that I know you're looking at it, Mac, but some of them need to be updated as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I know.
We'll have a
Yeah,
brainstorming
exactly.
session off the podcast here once this is done. But yeah, this is one of those recommendations that we'll take into account because of the fact that like I said, the website's kind of old too. I know I think a couple of nights ago someone was mentioning some of the photos there are kind of old. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get that fixed. Other than that, do you have anything else to add in here before we start going to audience questions here? Because
No, let's go to the audience questions. I really
okay.
appreciate everyone sitting through my kind of tirade and rant there. Sorry if I bored anyone. Sorry if
Actually,
I.
what about you, Tak? Do you have any rants that you want to push up? Other than like the rules here, because I know you have a few things that you probably noticed there. You guys are in the field more than I am, so.
We're coming for you.
Oh, okay.
That's it. We're coming for you. Mac pretty much said everything that I would say.
Okay.
I mean, you and I have discussed it so many times. Like, it's.
Well, I'm there to educate, just like every situation. I know a lot of people could probably, have some testimonies on that for every time they've come in and had an honest mistake. I've tried to do my best to educate people on that just because of the fact that I know people don't want to hurt each other. But at the same time, you cannot just sit there and be ignorant when you spend this kind of money. Like, do you just buy a car and not know how to drive? Like, let's be real, guys, right? You guys are spending money on this stuff. You guys should learn how to use it, you know. And just like that, we have arenas and play areas that we play in that have rules that you need to follow. So the simplest way to look at it is, it's like a tennis court or an ice rink. Airsoft is within that. If you start breaking the rules, you're playing outside of that, and that's why we have the rules, so that we have a rink and an arena to play in and stuff like that. So, I know Panther is an outdoor facility, so it doesn't seem like it's under that kind of veil, but you guys have to understand that there are rules. So that's it for me.
Okay. I guess a recommendation from my side is for let's jump into. I guess we'll just go into some recommendations. For our Discord stage audience here, if you have any recommendations, put them down. But one of my recommendations here is with FPS limits and HPA and MED. I guess
So the 20-foot MED. I know some people get confused by that reading the website. That's for full
yeah.
auto.
But what I was mentioning is like chronoing. I know
Yep.
like it's just one of those things where it's just hard to get people to chrono because it's just one of those things where registration would take longer if we have to chrono this and that.
Well, no. Okay. So do you want a flat out answer to that right
Yeah,
there?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
a lot of people ask me on why that doesn't happen. Okay. Your admission cost just went up. How come? Because now I am having to pay my other employee to be out there to do that, to facilitate your want for having a chrono or a gun chrono every single time. So basically, guys, Panther has a very, very fair and reasonable admission costs. It has not been raised in a long time. Right now, we are at a limited field capacity, so it is at a reduced rate. But I just want everyone to understand that right now. When a lot of people ask me on why certain things aren't a certain way, the first thing that's going to happen to
Lay it
you,
on them. It's one of the cheapest places ever. Come on, man. We went down to the States. It was expensive as hell.
it was expensive as hell. Yeah, and
These people have a privilege.
you guys are very, very spoiled. Okay, Poi, how much was it for you to play indoor at Siege?
I was
No,
invited, so
no,
I actually didn't know the price.
Oh,
Sorry.
screw you. Okay, I
yeah,
don't even
okay.
want to
No,
talk to you.
I'm
no,
sorry.
no shot, no
Wait,
shot to
hey,
Siege on that, right?
no,
Because they have
no,
an expensive area.
they're an
Yeah.
indoor place.
Okay.
I'm
No,
expecting
no,
at
no.
least 50 bucks. Like, you know?
I know how much it is, but yeah, it was around $45. So
Oh,
when I
wait,
took
hey, Sharp's in the chat. Sharp, how much was it playing at those fields that you went to? Put that in the chat for me. Thank you. Okay, and then yeah, so basically, like Siege is at least
see
50
50.
bucks. There you go. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Thank you, Tony. I know you're over there. Did you get a chance to play over there, Tony? I hope he did.
Yeah.
God,
Um.
show those guys what the
So
Panther
it
is to
comes to
do.
costs. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
well, that's
know.
yeah,
I
that's
know
the
we
first thing.
were R&D. Me and Elliot were R&Ding some sort of a way to mark FPSs on actual airsoft guns that constantly come back. But for troublemakers out there, is that when we actually bring in the chrono?
Mac?
Sorry, that lagged out for me. I missed that last bit.
Sorry for troublemakers out there, is that when we bring out the chrono? Is that when the chrono gets brought out?
Okay, so the chrono can be brought out for a number of reasons, right? The chrono can be brought out sporadically just because I freaking feel like it, or the chrono can be brought out because someone's asked me that they don't know what they're gun shooting at and they would like to know. They've done an upgrade and they'd like to know. They are just curious. That's fine. We will facilitate that. A lot of the time, the chrono comes out because complaints. Someone says shooting hot, and again, guys, I laugh how many times I've brought the chrono out and I swear that guy's shooting hot and he's not. And I look at you and I raise my eyebrow. But
It's okay. All your friends in that group, though, they were shooting hot. We caught them, though.
yeah, that was funny that one time. Yeah. Or
Okay.
no, not that one time.
So people are mentioning HPA locks. I guess I don't know if we
Well,
went over that.
so we can go into that, but the problem is, and this is the big problem because of the way Panther is set up. And this is no knock on Panther, but if people want things to change, it can totally change. But then things are gonna obviously change on admission costs and whatnot. But you have to understand that because it's an outdoor facility and it's an outdoor area, people are going to use heavier weights. Now, when people think heavyweights, typically most people who play indoor and whatnot are going to think 2.5s or 2.8s. But all y'all running like super heavy weights, like 3.6s, 4s, 4.5s, and then you guys are shooting each other with these things, like overshooting each other with these things. So it's hard because you guys are always switching, right? And anytime you switch, you change the system. Well, no, you just change the jewel ratings and everything like that. And right now we're trying to come up with a way to make it so that it's fair, so that you don't have to get checked so often and everything like that. But regardless, if you're running as a HPA player specifically, anytime you change your weights or anything like that, you're under scrutiny because things change all the time. So it's better to get to the system that you want and get to the performance level that you want, and then just stick with it. With AEGs, it's a little bit easier to control just because they have a lot more limitations on it because of the fact that you just don't have a knob to crank on it and change the settings on it. So yeah, that's specifically with that. So and we're gonna come out at any time pretty much with the chrono, right? Boy, like if for instance, if we get like any kind of suspicion or anything like that, we try to alleviate the problem, because some of you guys in city, it's really easy to tell because the board thwacking gets really, really loud, and your gun sounds really, really loud. So as soon as we see a tank on it, it kind of makes us question what's going on. And then, like Mac was mentioning earlier with the MEDs, a lot of the big problems that are happening right now is a lot of you guys with the DMRs are shooting people within 50 feet. You're literally shooting guys 20 feet and not switching to your secondary. And so that's another big problem there, because the jewel rating is higher on your DMR, right? And that's why you have the MED. And so for, guys who are running DMRs, right, at Panther, you have a 1.9 jewel rating with that. So, that's going to hurt.
Let me pull up the airsoft velocity limits. You put a screenshot here, Mac.
Yep.
So airsoft velocity limits, I know I've showcased this before and I'll showcase it again. So we're starting at AEGs and GBBRs at around maximum velocity of 420 FPS. You got to be below that 420 FPS for a max of 1.7 joules, and your minimum engagement, which is basically 20 feet. Is that correct? In terms of when you say minimum engagement, that means you could do semi-auto only at 20 feet.
No, so sorry, that's a little confusing laid out on the website there, and we have talked about fixing it, and we will fix it. It's that basically there is, so at that basic category there, so from 420, yes, but we usually stop it at like 419 just for sake. But so for 420 and below, there is no minimum engagement distance other than the 6-foot mercy rule. And most of the time, guys, again, mercy is used as a saving grace. It's not used confrontationally. If you use it forward, you probably are going to lose that fight. So always use it when you have the drop on somebody. If you have somebody in front of you, don't try and mercy them, guys. It's like just shoot them, back up and shoot them if you're that close, because I know some people are iffy about that.
Okay.
But
so DMR is at 450 FPS, 1.9 joules, and a minimum engagement of 50 foot. So anything below that, they can't shoot.
Yeah, they have to shoot them with their secondary,
well, they would have
because
to,
anyone above 420 FPS is mandatorily required to have a secondary. That doesn't mean that it has to be a pistol, but it has to be a secondary firearm that shoots below 420.
And I'm sure we're going to get asked a lot, but snipers, so that's a Springer. There's not a lot of gas snipers out there, unfortunately. But yeah, you're looking at a max of 480 FPS. That's 0.2 gram BB at 2.2 joules, and that's at 80 foot minimum engagement. So there you go. These are still pretty valid for all the rules, right? Yeah. So someone's mentioning they have a gas sniper that is HPA tap. Is that considered a HPA, or is that still considered a sniper?
It's considered HPA.
You just answered your own question.
Just like my Wii gun with an HPA drum mag is considered an HPA gun.
Paul, why would you say why? You just answered your own question. It's HPA tapped, so it's going to fall under an HPA classification.
Okay. So there we go. Now we know the rules there.
Green gas is more volatile than green gas. I think you need to reword that.
Green gas.
Sorry, than HPA. Okay, that's what I thought you meant. But like, what do you mean why are you getting, just DM me later. We can have this conversation. You don't need to be like.
I know it hasn't been mentioned a lot.
Yeah.
But are there still, I know Dead Man tells no tales, but do we have any issues with that in field?
So sometimes
I've heard a few players getting a little bit frustrated with other players telling, like dead players telling live players where they're coming from and stuff.
Yep.
Right. So again, this is an honor based. I think that's part of our code of conduct rules. I believe player code of conduct.
It is no dead talking. Yep.
No talking to live players. All right. Let me just pull this up here.
Let's be very clear. If you're caught talking and you're dead and you're in the field and I see you talking, I'm going to shoot you again.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking, that means you're alive.
There you go.
So just let's be clear on that.
It is part of our player conduct here. So guys, I think I will print out these player conducts in poster size and post them up at the front of the what is it? Front of the registration area, because these are good to see. Honestly, I mean, when you sign the waiver, is it part of it as well? I'll have to take a look.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. So when you sign the
And
waiver, you do
then
agree to these as
there's a
well.
big sign at the field for all the people who say that they don't see the field rules. I will take you right to the field rules.
There you go. Okay, so yeah, we just clarified all the rules here.
Oh my God, tied.
People don't like websites. Yeah, you
No,
go on
that's
the websites to get the waiver done.
I didn't know you had a website. Does the online waiver? Like, oh Lord, oh Lord.
I mean, you guys should be filling out your waivers every day still when you come there. Um, have a good read at it, guys. I know some of you, when you look at the TOS agreements on anything that you sign up for apps for, you just kind of skip through it. I'm like that kind of guy that just scrolls through it a little bit, sees the big fonts and stuff, just to make sure I'm not getting screwed over
I
or
just look
anything.
at the privacy and legal stuff. That's about it. Anything else is all blah blah blah.
Yeah, but what if you sign away your life?
That's why I said the privacy and legal stuff, because that's where they'll get you.
It's true. Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully that clarifies the rule for a lot of folks here, because I think we went over everything here at this point, up and down.
Which is most of the main concerns and
yeah,
stuff like that, guys.
I
Again, we will have a link to the website field rules, the full list of field rules, guys. Again, so some of them are like, silent unwritten rules, or some of them are silent rules that aren't super enforced and everything like that. But that's okay. The rules, they're on there. They're there for a reason. And at the end of the day, we work there and we will come in and choose what to enforce. Yeah.
okay,
Welcome
perfect.
to a private entity.
And what do you say for those that break the rules?
Don't come
What
back.
If I'm gonna catch you, it's only a matter of time.
We're gonna get you. Okay, so I think that ends the podcast there. Unless you have anything else to add, guys.
Nope. We hope
Let
to
us
see
know.
everyone out on the weekend. We know obviously some people might get scared every time there's a new health order out or any kind of big news comes out from the government. But don't be scared, right? We were all managing very well over the summer and everything like that. So just show up with your masks. Come out and sling some BBs. Love to see you out on the weekend.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mac, I will let you end this episode. I have nothing else to add. Other than if you guys have any comments on anything, you could always go to our Discord, let us know, or you come and give us a comment at the comment section below at YouTube. If we missed anything, I hope we didn't. Good God, this is the written rules of Panther. I don't think we missed anything. But yeah, comment below. Other than that, Mac, take it away and finish off this episode.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for sitting through basically my tirade of dealing and frustrations that have mounted up over the last coming months of dealing with everybody. That's episode 59 of the Panther Airsoft Folding Table Talk rules. Why do we have them? Hopefully, you know why. If you have questions still, again, like Poi said, you can reach out to us. The staff at the field is more than willing to make sure everyone knows the rules so that they can have a safe and fun time. Other than that, guys, that's episode 59. I'm Mac. That's Poi. That's Tack. That's Panther.
All right.
Hey.
See you guys on the next one. Goodbye.